everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Sherry Horner, your host at healthfitnessbroadcast.com. Today, my guest is Master RKC and 8th degree black belt Phil Ross. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, my pleasure, Sherry. How you doing?
Good. Great to have you again. I wanted you to come back because the last time you were on the show, we talked about martial arts, we talked about body weight, fitness, and you mentioned that you had a new set of DVDs come out. So before we get into that, I want to talk about briefly what you've done in the past. You started in martial arts,
Yes.
which you still do,
Yes.
So can you just take us down that road briefly, how you started, and then when you started doing producing videos, which I have several back here, the self-defense ones, and what led you into the kettlebell training?
Okay. Well, I've been doing martial arts, combat arts since the early 70s. My grandfather started me in boxing, and then I went over to wrestling, and I wrestled in junior high, high school, and I wrestled D1 in college for a couple of years. And then simultaneously, I was training in the martial arts. But I was always into fitness, keeping in shape, getting in shape, becoming stronger, especially after I hurt my back my junior year in football. Broke 3 bones in my back and couldn't do sports for a whole year. So imagine a 16-year-old, very athletic person saying, you're not going to be able to do sports. I didn't take it lying down. I started swimming, lifting weights, doing Roman chair sit-ups and just making my back stronger. And eventually I came back and I took second in the eastern region of the Greco-Roman Nationals that year, between my junior and senior year after I had missed a whole year of wrestling. Trained very hard and, got into strength training and really took my conditioning to another level. Went on to wrestle a couple more years in college, but at the same time I was pursuing the martial arts because I just always loved martial arts. College, I went full-time into that. Between my bouncing, lifting weights, martial arts, I entered some bodybuilding contests. I did powerlifting meets, Olympic lifting meets. I just kind of wanted to try everything around strength, conditioning, so forth. Even did a couple of 5Ks. I had some decent results. And I took third in Mr. DC. I won another amateur bodybuilding contest. I won a couple powerlifting meets and a couple of Olympic lifting meets. But then, I brought me all back to my real passion, which was, martial arts and general overall fitness. That pretty much brought me to the modern day, and I'm pretty much doing the same stuff. I came into my first video series back in 2004 is when I launched it. One of the main reasons I did that is because I was a defensive tactics instructor for years with the Department of Criminal Justice. I did a lot of seminars, rape prevention, the workshops and so forth for the U.S. Treasury Department being our FBI. We did Secret Service. We did the U.S. Marshals actually several times, and then of course the NJ Department of Criminal Justice. We did a lot of training for the police and the police academies down in Monmouth. So the one thing that bothered me was that we did all this great training, and there's a lot of there's thousands of good martial artists out there, and there's a lot of great training you get. The only problem is that people do it for their stint and then they're done with it. Looking at even what's going on today with excessive use of force and things like that, I think that if a lot of law enforcement personnel kept up with their martial arts training, they would be able to handle these situations a little better.
Right.
They wouldn't be so quick to pull a gun or use a taser, and they'd be able to apply some locks and takedowns that are a little less lethal. And the result would be better, and I think it would be a lot better in the public eye and for public safety. So what I did was I put together a training regimen on video that goes over everything that we do in the seminars.
And you had, because you had like 4. You had 3
Yes.
on self-defense.
Right, and one is just pure fitness.
Yeah.
Yep. And matter of fact, I've certified several teachers Some of the local school boards have hired me to certify the teachers in the SAVE program, and
Great.
they teach it as a unit in school. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process right now of writing a book called Survival Strong, which is
Nice.
all based on body weight and defensive tactics.
Nice.
Getting down to the nitty and gritty, I have over 400 pictures. I'm going through those, which ones I want to use and don't. And I'm almost done doing all the technical aspects of the movements, which is very, very involved and tedious.
Great. So
So,
I'm looking forward to that book. So of course you'll let me check
oh,
that one out too.
absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks again for sending this. This is exciting. But first, tell us quickly how you transitioned from martial arts. Well, never leaving martial arts,
Oh,
but
okay.
how you
Yeah, I
evolved.
didn't
There you
really.
go. Evolved into kettlebell. When did you first fall in love with kettlebell training?
Okay. There were actually two people responsible for me delving into the kettlebells. One of them was Dr. Pat Roth, who actually was one of my clients, and he wrote the book The End of Back Pain. And the guy named Phil in there, who he thanks for learning kettlebells from, is actually me. So
Yeah.
he's kind of cool. And we were actually on NJ Caucus together
Mhm.
for a TV show, and they just reran it again a couple weeks ago. And then Frank Shamrock, the UFC fighter.
Mhm.
I became friends with Frank back in '04, and we did a couple seminars together. And I was out at his place, and he goes, oh, you're into strength conditioning and everything, and check these things out. So I'm like, wow, kind of cool. So between those two people, I said, you know what, let me get into this. And being a martial artist, kettlebells go hand in hand.
Mhm.
It's you know the lock and the pop, the total body engagement, using of your core, um, the hip lock and pop that you need for strikes, the rooting with the ground, uh, again, all the core strength and the twisting and so forth. It just lent itself to what I wanted to do. Additionally, I also have a slap tear in my labrum, my right shoulder,
Mhm.
and it was popping out constantly. uh, and then since 2006, I delved into the kettlebells. My shoulder has not popped out.
Great.
Not good.
Great.
So I don't want it to happen again. Because I really
Totally
learned
what
how
you
to
needed, right?
pack my shoulders and engage my lats on all my different techniques.
Right. Right. So I want to talk about your DVDs now. It is the Kettlebell Workout Library,
Yes.
and there is not just one, but it is a full library of DVDs. Now,
Yes.
I went through them because you suggest even if someone is experienced, see, it just goes on and on and on. uh,
There's 20,
Even if
there's
someone
20
is
hours.
experienced, it's always great to watch the video before you do it. And
Absolutely.
you know what I love about your instruction is you make the person, the viewer, the person doing it, feel like you're right there with them. It's like, it really is. It's like I'm in your studio
Yeah,
training with
literally.
you because you're not talking to the camera, you're talking to the person behind the screen
Yeah.
that's watching you and doing this with you with your instruction.
Thank
Um,
you. I'm
it
glad that happened because that's the way I wanted to put it across. I didn't go in a
exactly
fancy studio like I did in all my other DVDs. I said, you know what? We're doing this right here, right at home, right
perfect,
in my studio. You're in my class. We're having a session, and I'm taking you through the movements. Let's get to work.
perfect, and that's what it was like. It's just like when someone writes a book and you can hear their
Yeah.
voice, and you can hear their voice in every word. Same thing. Yeah, I
Right.
felt like I was right there with you. So you start with the beginners. I want to talk about there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced program, right?
And there's
So
specialty as well. And then there's also the body weight and the warm ups.
okay, so this is something that someone can get and not have to go anywhere else because they have a complete library. Um, so I want to talk about kettlebell exercises because I just want to show this, the manual that comes with.
Yep. And
So, which,
every workout that's on the DVD is mirrored in the manual. So you
right,
learn how to do it. You watch the DVD, learn how to do this, and then we go into the manual and do our workouts.
yeah, it's all right there. So I want to, one, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but
No, that's okay.
at one point in the workout, you instruct, I'm going to show up the picture to everyone of how to do, I should just ask you what page it's on because you know. Here it is. Um, no, sorry. Bear with me. You instruct to do knee raises and pull-ups. So my
Yes.
question is for anyone out there that does not have a bar that they can safely do pull-ups and knee-ups on, what
Mm-hmm.
would you suggest they do instead?
Well, one thing you can do is you can lay on the floor and grab the bottom of your bed and pull your knees up that way. That's one way to do some knee ups. If you do not have a pull up bar per se, one of the things I do suggest is just taking a. I use karate belts. Okay,
Okay.
unless you can't do pull ups yet, I say say use karate belts. I knot one end and I throw it over the door, close the door, lean back, and I work my lats like that. I work the
Okay.
pull up motion. It's not
Great.
as good as doing a full body weight pull up, but a lot of people can't do a full body weight pull up yet. They have to train to get up to that level.
Right. That's a good
Um,
point. That's a
I
good
mean, the other
point.
thing is that the pull up bars are pretty inexpensive. I
Yeah.
mean, I got one that I have in my house off of Amazon for $29. I mean, the thing is just it's great.
Right. So that's a good tip for anyone who what to do before you get your pull-up bar if you haven't gotten one yet. You can go
Right.
ahead and move
And you
into that.
uh,
Again,
uh,
I apologize. I had that
uh,
picture right before we started
I know.
talking, and
It's
so
toward the back of the
yeah, that's what I thought, and I've been there 3 times. Okay. Ta-da, is that it?
pictures.
Whoops.
Well, that's one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, so everyone knows what we're talking about. But if we could cover, and a lot of people still haven't tried kettlebells, so if
Right.
we can cover like the basic exercises, and you can tell for each one
Hmm.
what exactly it's working for your body, because a lot
Oh,
of people will just they just want to work out and they want to feel great, but
mhm.
then a lot of people are like, well, why am I doing this?
Right. Right.
What is it?
Okay.
What are the benefits? So
Well, here's one of the things. You want to take that notion of body parts and kind of crumple it up and throw it out the window.
okay,
Um, one of the reasons, yeah, and are there parts of your body that are more taxed with certain exercises than others? Absolutely. But I like to look at it as general movements. And we're looking at general movements. When you're doing a workout, you want to do a complete workout, you need an upper body pull, an upper body push, a lower body pull, a lower body push. And everything else is built around those four movements.
gotcha.
So, I mean, and I used to do curls and everything, but when do we actually do an actual curl in real life? If you want to
Right.
talk about functional training, functional movement, it's not very functional. But yet, a pull up is very functional. You're using your whole arm, your lat. Um, Even when I was bodybuilding and competed and so forth, I only did one bicep exercise. I did a lot of pull ups and rows. I don't know. It's just like my philosophy. Maybe that's why I was so geared to go toward the kettlebell because I
Yeah.
like those big motions because I was always into sport. Um, the When we're talking about some of the basic moves, if you want to talk about the two base moves of kettlebells, I would say are the swing.
Right.
Okay, now the kettlebell swing. Most people do the kettlebell swing wrong.
For those that have no idea, I don't know if that comes out good or not.
Yeah, that's like that's. I wouldn't even recommend the overhead swing for anyone unless they're trained, and I do reference that in the
Right.
manual
Yeah.
because you have to have a lot of experience because a lot of people want to go overhead and they're not doing it properly. They have shoulder asymmetries or they're not keeping their core tight when they're coming up, and then they're going to put a lot of under stress and pressure on their low back. Um, so you could be opening up more problems than fixing. So
Gotcha.
we recommend the standard two hand swing where I'm basically going 10 and 4. So my butt will be at 4, my head will be at 10, and if you can get 9 and 3, great. But most people 10 and 4 is the standard.
Hmm.
Uh, and you want to hike the elbows all the way back so they're in between your thighs and pop up. And the top of your swing should be just like a plank. You should be locked up there. So you're going from relaxation to full tension.
Gotcha.
And it also works on your breathing, your hip mobility, the pop and lock. Just think about any type of sport you're doing. you're throwing something, you're kicking something, you're whatever you're doing, you're popping. Okay, that's why it's very athletic movement. So that would be like a swing. I would consider a lower body pull. Now, a lower body push, I would consider a squat. And squats are fantastic. Every workout regimen should have squats. As a matter of fact, I'm almost done. Yep, there's some trust squats. I'm almost done doing these 12 blogs. I call it the Dirty Dozen exercises. And it has the 6 basic kettlebell exercises and the 6 basic bodyweight exercises in it. So I just put in for publication number 11, which is the snatch. 12 will be the push-up. But all the rest of them are all up on my blog and all on the Dragon Door blog.
Okay, great. And with that being said, I will have a link below to get to philross.com.
Awesome.
Easy to remember, but in
Yeah,
case you forget, I'll have a link below so everyone can get in touch with you there. So, okay, we have a few more minutes. So
the
here's
next,
the pull-up thing.
I forgot to
Found
say
it.
the other major exercise was the get up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two
The
major
turkey's get up. Now
exercises.
that's my favorite. Now a lot of my
Oh,
clients don't like that, but I do.
I know. I used to hate it too. Now,
I've never hated it. I've loved it from the first time I did it. I'm like, oh, I love this stuff. Yeah. And when I tell people, oh, you're gonna love this, and
yeah,
then they
right.
don't, they're like,
They look at you like you have 3 heads.
yeah, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. So, any other tips? Well, let's just talk about more of the benefits of kettlebell versus traditional.
Traditional weight training.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you can actually do your complete lifetime work with 4 pair of kettlebell. Okay.
And this library.
At this library, boom, done. You're all
Oh,
good. Pull up
yeah.
bar, stick, a jump rope, and that's all you need. Because one of the good things I really like about kettlebells is that you're addressing not only your strength, you're addressing your flexibility, your durability, your mobility. You're getting your cardiovascular as well, and also flexibility. I don't think I said that twice,
Yeah.
but you're addressing all of these different facets of training. Yeah, are there other ways to accomplish those same things? Absolutely, but there's not a tool as universal as the kettlebell, and that's why I really fell in love with it because it's so versatile, and I can hit everything I need with a kettlebell and my body, and
Yeah.
that's really all I need for
That's good.
achieving
Now,
ultimate fitness.
you train trainers
Yes.
to teach
Yeah.
kettlebell,
Mhm.
right?
I
So,
teach certifications. Like, you're familiar with Parisi's,
mhm.
the Parisi Speed Schools. They have 85 different locations. I'm with contract with them. Matter of fact, I'm doing a certification in Sparta, New Jersey, on the 24th of January under Parisi's. But it's through all, of course, the RKC and the HKC, which is Dragon Door. Next year, I already have 7 certifications scheduled.
Great, super. So again, if anyone's interested, if you're a trainer and you're interested in getting certified in that, you can contact Phil on his website. Any other last tips that you can give us on this or
Well, you
kettlebell
know,
training in general?
the thing is that when you're training, don't be afraid to use regressions. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, you want to push yourself." But yeah, I push myself all the time. But you know what? Let's say I'm doing pull-ups and I can't, I'm at my max in my pull-ups. Well, instead of doing 2 more lousy reps, then I'll drop it to a different type of movement.
Gotcha. That's a good
You
tip.
know, so do not be afraid to use regressions. Yeah, get your reps, but it's better to have sound reps. That's why I was talking about that 80% rule. If you can do 10 good pull-ups, well, if you max out every set, how's that 9 and 10 going to look? Your body's going to remember that, and that's when you expose yourself to injury.
Exactly. Exactly. That's an excellent tip. Um,
Thank you.
I want to say thank you again for
Pleasure.
for all this great information. And again, I'll have a link below for at Phil's website. You can check it out. And I just want to remind everyone, if you are a fitness wellness professional and you would like to contribute to our show, you can contact me, and the link will be below. Thank you so much,
Thank
Master
you very
Ross.
much, Sherry.
Now, do
And
your students call you Master Ross or Master Phil?
Call me just master. No. Well, actually, in my system, I'm called Saya, which is
Oh,
master teacher.
oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right, gotcha.
So,
All
or
right, good.
coach.
Okay.
So,
I will. I'll just call you my buddy Phil.
there you go. That's cool. That's cool. Well,
Uh,
Sherry, always a pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
Happy New Year. And also, you have a birthday coming up, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And happy birthday.
Thank you. It will be my birthday all year.
Yes.
Yeah. All year. Yeah. I've been celebrating my 40th for the last 9 years.
Oh, absolutely. Why
Yeah.
not?
All right. Take care.
All
Until
right.
next time. Thanks everyone for watching.